Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Media TV once more. My name is Mazes, okay, and today, sadly, I couldn't do my yesterday Friday hangout, so it is a hangout today. We could call it Saturday hangout because today is the Saturday, 19th of February 2022, and the time now it's 8 minutes to 10 o'clock here at the ground zero. So join me this evening as I look at a couple of issues. Now, before we start, would you do me a favor? Like this stream. Just click the like button and share the stream. Click the like button and share the stream. So may we quickly start, people? Many of us, it is no longer news that, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Okay. It is no longer news that in the last couple of days, we've come to see the DCP Abba Kyari, who has been disgraced. Not only that he got himself entangled in the hush puppy, hush mommy, hush Pekin business, but also that he got himself entangled in cocaine business. Cocaine, as in white chalk, as some people will call it. Now, he's not only an errand person, he's also a connector and disconnector. But here we are, as it is. This evening, we are going to explore something that he's trying to make a link. Many believe that by the way he will be singing like a canary bird, that he would eventually be implicating people who were involved in this racketeering. However, he made an allusion that really got everybody thinking. Remember, there is no love lost between Abba Kyari. Or rather, one can say there is a lot of love lost between Abba Kyari and the IPOB group, that is the indigenous people of Biafra. Recall that Abba Kyari at some point, the military had a day in Imo State, and at some point Abba Kyari and his group was also sent to Imo State. And there is an accusation and counter-accusation. The IPOB said he went into Imo State and started doing Okada, that is, using motorcycle as a means of conveying people from point A to point B in order to collect money as a taxi driver. Obviously, the internet was awash with, some argue, a photo that is photoshopped, and some say, well, it is him doing that. But that is not the story for this evening. The story for this evening is, however, that when the news broke, many of us, myself included, thought it was one of those propaganda, circulations. But sadly, it turned out that the news was actually real. Schönen guten Abend, Reginald Roberts. Guten Abend, schönen Abend. From Germany und hier in Grand Zero. So, as that was ongoing, people, Abba Kyari himself now said the IPOB group was the reason why he is facing this ordeal. I mean, at that point, I couldn't help but laugh. You know why I was laughing? I'm like, okay, so IPOB now tells you to go and strike deal with cocaine dealers and become a cocaine merchant. At some point, I thought the man was intelligent, heading an intelligence unit, but I never knew the man is olodolized, being an olodo, I mean, that is what sometimes you just listen to these people, you eventually find out they have nothing basically upstairs to offer. But let us get to the meat of the matter this evening.
Police Service Commission suspended an Assistant Commissioner of Police, Sunday Ubua, and an Assistant Superintendent of Police, James Bauer, who both worked under Kyari in the intelligence response team in the Nigerian Police Force. The men were alleged to be involved in the current cocaine seizure and transferred to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Their suspension is set to become effective Monday, February 14th. Well, in the meantime, a report by the Daily Trust quotes Abba Kyari as saying that members of the indigenous people of Biafra and the Eastern Security Network are behind his travails. The disgraced Deputy Police Commissioner reportedly made the claim when he appeared before a probe panel led by the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Joseph Ebunike, at the force headquarters in Abuja. Kyari claimed that the group orchestrated a smear campaign against him on social media because of the onslaught launched against them in the Southeast. I thought I've heard everything, but this one was quite hilarious. IPOB and the ESN orchestrated a smear campaign against you. We've heard so many other people talk about how, their issues come to the limelight. This was strange to me.
This is.
I mean, did IPOB tell him to hop in a car and allegedly plan a drug deal? I'm quite baffled. But what for me, the subtext there is that there's something quite sinister afoot. We all know, since we're black people, how black people are often suspects, how we're looked at with suspicion. And now this is becoming an emergent trend for Igbo people. You referred to that article recently, and I went and read it by Donu Kokwara about Igbophobia.
What
so
have
this
Igbos
is
done?
yes. So this is a dog whistle right there.
Yeah. Where do I start? If we put Abba Kyari to one side and pretend that he never said something like this, just for 1 second, then you begin to ask yourself, why is it this constant? Anyone that gets into trouble, he must find a way to bring Igbo to it. Shall we go? Let's take a count. Recall last year, the chairman of Code of Conduct Bureau, or Code of Conduct Tribunal, Dan Ladi, in the words of Asari Dokubo, he will call him Ochabari, or Ochabari, or whatever it is. He went to Efa Plaza, I believe one of the plazas in Abuja, and got entangled in a, where his driver parked, and someone said to him to unpark, to repark or park properly. And eventually he got into slapping the individual. The individual in question is someone from, I believe, Plateau State, North Central, or you can say Middle Belt. That's number one. But when the thing blew out of proportion and people got interested in that case, what did he say? He forced his PA to put out a statement, and that statement, he blamed it. He said that he was being attacked by the Biafran people. You see, in this case, Biafra equals Igbo in this context. And you think you've had it all. Even the president himself, who is the commander-in-chief, a military tactician, the reason why people like myself have decided to use proudly dotted on your dot, whatever we, it's a decision. The reason why we do that is in protest, actually, that a sitting president who now, when he made reference to Igbo, in his own national, in his own conversation hosted by Arise TV, he used and referred to Igbo as dot in the circle. The same president, when in America he was making reference to people who gave him vote. Obviously, 97% vote, and because the great people of the Igbo nation, yes, knew fake from Taiwan and knew fake from original. Ab initio. Now that everybody is crying, if you had listened to Igbo without hating them, probably none of you would be crying like this. But again, people called you names, said you put all your egg in one basket. Of course, there are times, if the other basket is as good as nothing there inside the basket, then you better put all your egg in one basket. And if the president could look at Ndibo and say, refer to them in numerical terms, 5% and 97%, which is, if you add them up, it's mathematical, illogical, but again, let's not go to logic because that would then defeat the whole purpose. Now it is a criminal, Abba Kyari. What everyone has been expecting him to say is to call the names of those, it has actually come out that he's a gang leader with those transiting drugs from Brazil via Ethiopia into other airports in Nigeria, not only Enugu, but in this case, in point, it was through Enugu. Then ask yourself, if this be the case, why would an Igbo man, why would Igbo at every point in time be a point of reference as a collective? But let's listen to the guys in the studio anyway.
We're used to racist dog whistles, but this for me is an ethnic dog whistle. You're talking about IPOB as the bogeyman. Anything that's bad that's happened, it's got to be them. So we've often talked about the marginalization of the Igbos, but now we're seeing demonization and criminalization.
Yes.
So what he has said, and a dog whistle is always to appeal to certain people. We all know what that means.
Sure.
So what he has said for me is a lot weightier than it initially appears. It sounds something ridiculous you just reject, but it speaks to a much darker undertone about the current reality in Nigeria right now with regards to tribalism. And this must not be encouraged. It must be completely rejected. People should not reach for Igbos as their convenient whipping boy. It's just really quite distasteful, quite frankly. And with regards to the officers who were suspended, I don't know, I really would urge the police to maybe have a look at their rules, because what does it to be summarily dismissed from the police force? I really want to know, because we know that Abba Kyari was on suspension and he was still, making deals all over the place. Suspension doesn't seem to really do much, but I guess we all have to be patient that they've been suspended pending further action, which includes criminal prosecution. But I just think for the sake of the police, some people just need to be dismissed immediately from the force.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, first, the DCP and the ACP who have been placed on suspension, there were 2 of the 4 other officers working under Abba Kyari who were said to have been arrested along with him 3 days ago. Now, 2 of them have been placed on suspension, and I think they've been placed on suspension by the Police Service Commission, pending the next round of investigations.
Yes.
Because this is in connection with the accusations, the allegations by the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency. So while the investigation and the interrogation by the police and the NDLA continues, they've placed them on suspension. But my question is, 4 persons were arrested along with them. What has happened to the other officers? Why were they also not suspended? Because 3 days ago, we were told 4 officers were arrested, at the instance of the NDLA, along with Abba Kyari. That's one. The second one has to do with the fact that the panel report that is out there, the Egbunike panel report, DIG Egbunike, resolved that Abba Kyari is guilty of using social media, and hence, on the basis of that, he will just be demoted from the position of a deputy commissioner of police to an assistant commissioner of police. Now, nobody is impressed by that. Observers, commentators see it as a slap on the wrist.
Absolutely.
It's beyond a slap on the wrist. actually everybody knew what Abba Kyari did. Not that, this story that he using social media. I mean, that's for me, that's a minor issue. But the main issue, I believe that commission didn't do justice to that. Hence the police basically rejected.
As an attempt by the police hierarchy to cover up one of their own. The other part of it that they said was that, he was cavorting and socializing with persons he should not be associated with as a law enforcement officer, and that he has violated police ethical professional rules. Okay? In both instances, both the panel and the Police Service Commission, they are quoting what they call public service rules. Maybe this particular Kyari and others case should compel us to take a second look at the public service rules. Maybe those public service rules have become obsolete. Maybe they are not in line with reality. That's one assumption that we can take from there. But whatever it is, there should be no cover-up. On the issue of Abba Kyari, saying, his travails should be traced by IPOB and Eastern Security Network. Well, Professor Ken Rochime, a leading scholar on police affairs in Nigeria, who has done a book on policing in a federal state, the Nigerian experience, made it very clear that, in fact, that is totally beside the point. He even went as far as abusing the journalists who carried the story. But because he's my friend, I allowed him to get away with that. Because I don't like people teaching journalists how to do their job. Okay? But he had a point that, look, if you're a police officer, part of your job is to arrest people, is to engage people. Okay, what are we dealing with here? Occupational hazard? Every occupation has its own hazards. Even if it is IPOB and ESN coming after him because he was involved in combating crime and criminality in the southeastern part of the country. That is not an excuse. You cannot blame IPOB. You cannot blame ESN. And it is good that the Ebunike panel thought that that defense was very watery. I think every reasonable person out there will also think that that defense is watery. What are the questions that were asked? Did you collect money through Oshpopi and pass the money through your brother into a certain account?
That's it.
Up to 249 million naira. Are you a tailor for Oshpopi who has been indicted somewhere? Tailoring services, is that part of the functions of the police? Now, again, this is the same man here. This is the same man doing dancing. That is the man who ought to be policing everywhere. But he's the one here, sadly, believe if you know some of the people in the video, eventually they may call them to come and answer some questions, because I believe from the stories, if what I hear from the grapeyard of the grapevine is anything to go by, if the information is correct, means that in the coming days you will hear names that will shock you, that you never imagined that engaged in such business. You hear. And here you have Abba Kyari, I mean, it would be nice, it is, they say all work and no play makes Jack to be a dull boy, right? But there are some certain jobs you do as a police officer. In fact, it's just like seeing a priest dance or engage in such. There are certain jobs that really require you to act differently. But in this case, it's not him. Rather than stick to the issue, the reason why IPOB is carrying out a campaign against me, blah, blah, blah. And also, I am happy that they are right in there in the studio that they also see through the nonsense that he tried again, because it appears that's the only thing that unifies Nigeria. When it gets tough, just blame the Igbo. Find a way to blame them, then everybody would mutually probably agree. But I think also Nigerians are much wiser than whatever narrative he's trying to create. Nigerians are now much wiser. Let me go back and bring this.
How did a high-ranking favorite of the Inspector General of Police become a part-time tailor?
Super cop.
A law enforcement officer.
Tailor.
Now going from one designer to the other to sew clothes for indicted persons. These are the questions. How did you end up in a nightclub dancing to Obamamba, or what is that?
You want to bam bam?
These are the issues, on the table. The man says it's IPOB, which is a very typical thing in Nigeria. People
Very
always
unfair.
play the ethnic
Very
game.
unfair. Very unfair.
A man will misbehave. You say, oh, they are victimizing me because I'm from a certain part of the country. No, we should focus on the issues, and we don't want to hear that it is IPOB. Is it IPOB that collected money on his behalf? Mm-hmm. Is it IPOB that introduced him to Oshwapi? Oshwapi is not an Igbo man. Oshwapi, Ramon Abbas, he's a Yoruba man. So why is he talking about IPOB?
Good night.
So I think, as the story goes, we should resist the attempt.
Absolutely.
To play the ethnic game, which is the usual card that Nigerians play. Nobody is convicting him on television. He should have his day in court. He should be treated fairly. Due process must be followed. If at the end of the day, he comes out of it clean, yes, fine. That would be his right. But to come and start playing the ethnic card so early, no.
Well said, Dr. Bati. We shall take another story.
Anyway, before you take another story, guys, there is, someone in here is asking if the British, what's it called, the Kenyan High Commission to Nigeria, if he's dead. Of course, he kicked the bucket. All of us, at some point, we all die. So the guy kicked the bucket. Just that is on a side note. What we do here is we don't speak on issues until they are all confirmed. And I can also share that with us now. Like I said, that's really on a side note. The Kenyan High Commission High Commissioner to Nigeria is dead. Quickly, let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. High Commissioner to Nigeria is dead. Make that of the news. Make of the news. That's I think he died yesterday. There's a High Commissioner to Nigeria, Wilfred Machage, is dead. Okay, so you can see him here. The High Commissioner to Nigeria is dead. So that is, again, it's as a piece of news, but you are free to make of the news what you wish. For me, is to say that he is dead. Now, if I come back on Abba Kyari, I would then think to myself that Abba Kyari, he was being very silly, in doing that. And I think that's one thing that Nigerians must resist. If crimes occur, let us deal with the crime and not the state of origin or his tribe. Likewise, so I hear many of my brothers saying, oh, it's Fulani, it's this, it's the way that I said, no, that is for me arrant nonsense. Crime has nothing to do with your ethnicity. Even the kidnapped his own brothers in Lagos, be it the pharmacist that he took close to half a million euros from, over 200 and something thousand euros from, or his own brother, I believe that was Curtis Cable, that he took $1 million from, and others that he took also $1 million from. No one is regionalizing that crime. Find him, which sometimes I even sad. Now he hasn't, the case is not finished, because by now should have been, if he's jailing him 100 years, tell him 100 years, hard labor, whatever it is, who bloody cares, you go in. Everyone associated to that case, go in. Abba Kyari, you find him guilty, do the needful. But to bring that Abba Kyari and link it to Fulani, link it to the other one, I think it's nonsensical. And come to think of it, he's actually not Fulani. So sometimes that, our brain tells us, oh, because somebody is from the north, he's Fulani, come on, that's nonsensical. However, it is also not acceptable, anyway, that he then says, oh, my Odile, there is a campaign of calumny going on by IPOB against me in the social media. As if they sent you to go and do cocaine. Do you know what it means? A man, they seized 25 kg of cocaine. He took out some. They want to go and sell 15. Bring another 15 kg that is, what is 25 kg for Christ's sake? You know what is 25 kg? When you're traveling, most airlines, 25 kg is industrial scale. When you're traveling, you're only allowed to use 23 kg. So imagine a cocaine that filled up a traveling suitcase. Because when you're traveling, you're not allowed to fly with more 23. So imagine where you are traveling with 2 kg SS luggage. That is the quantity. This is not these peanuts that some people swallow, maybe half a kg or whatever, and carry them inside their tummy and be killing themselves. These are the big boys. These are the bam-bams. Welcome once more to Mazda. This is the Saturday Hangout. It's no longer the Friday Hangout, but it's Saturday Hangout because Friday Hangout didn't happen yesterday. Please, just click on the like button, share, and subscribe to this platform. If you haven't followed us on Facebook, by all means, please do encourage others to follow us on Facebook. Now, if you are following us on YouTube, also like and share. So, people, on this one, I'll be rounding up on this because at the end of the day, I think Abba Kyari here goofed big time. There is no, there is no gainsaying in this. When someone goofed, when someone goofs, and that's it. You're basically you messed up. So what are you going to do? You're going to go and pay the price. Now, stay on this rant of ethnic gaslighting. Let us stay on this. Suddenly, you heard on Friday. I think what I'm going to do. You heard on. Was it, I think on Friday, that Nnamdi Kanu went to court. And the story has it that he still wears the clothes that he wore since last year, the same clothes. The DSS has been floating the court order to allow him change his clothes. Now, again, this is beside the case. If he has a case to answer, he has a legal team that will do justice to this. But the issue here is not only that the DSS was flouting this, and I think when the lawyer made a case for him, obviously, to, I just want to get a tweet from Professor Chido Dinkalo, which well, quickly, people, just bear with me. So I believe when he was asked inside that court what type of clothing he would probably want to have, and he said, because many of you, by the time you start seeing this IsiAgu challenge, this is at the back of the IsiAgu challenge. If you are not, some of you who are who are not Igbo, who do not understand where the whole thing is coming from. So that is the background to it. So I believe when he was asked, what then would you want to have? And he said he wants to have the clothes of his people, which is invariably the IsiAgu in question. And the judge, I believe, according to the story, said no. That let me find the exact word. That was in parentheses. So if you pardon me, I find the exact word used. Sorry, where is it again? Sorry about this. I'm just trying to, I don't want to misquote anyone. I want to find the exact, yes, okay. So this is what has led to the whole Rofa fight. And the Rofa fight, you know it. If you've been following me, you also know that this happened as well. Now we have people wanting to say, okay, if the Igbo attire called IsiAgu is what then is giving problem, then let everybody begin to wear their own IsiAgu. You can imagine. Now, according to Professor Chido Dinkalu says, this Nnamdi Kanu's trial has turned ridiculous. He says, and I quote, turning to Kanu, who was in the dock, the trial judge asked him the type of clothes he wants. I quote, Kanu, now Kanu replied, I want to wear the clothes of people, which is IsiAgu. Kanu replied. The judge says, no, you will not wear it. The judge countered. Wow. Let that sink in for a moment. I have seen people argue, about this. And I ask myself, there are people saying when others have faced trial, what did they wear? Then my question to you will be, if you have not been convicted and you have not been sent to prison, where if you are sent to prison, you have prison uniform. If you have not been convicted, recall Tafa Balogun when he was facing trial. Please, can somebody remind me what he was wearing? MKO Abiola, when he was facing trial, can we please recall and remind me what he was wearing? Farouk, when he was facing trial, please, can you remind me what he wore? All the Boko Haram that you captured when they were facing trial, can you please remind me what they wore? Whatever you wear is a choice. And this, again, I believe that sometimes the Nigerian state, I don't know if it is out of overzealousness or the thinking of holding the people down, that every slightest opportunity you may wish to, extort. I mean, how do I say that? At every slightest opportunity, you may wish to just showcase, oh, you are in charge. In charge of what? For Christ's sake. That is one thing that I might want to know. In charge of what? Because in this case, you have a case of someone telling you, this is what I want to wear. Now, this brings us to this, and this video that I'm going to play for us now started trending on because the people are now saying, if that be the case, let us now go wear our own IsiAgu and join the conversation. Now it is Operation Show Your Own IsiAgu. Enjoy it. Why did you finish now? I know they'll flag the video because of copyright, but who cares? At this moment, I want to enjoy the rhythm. Let me do that again. Okay. On that note, I my IsiAgu waiting. Nigerian government, una say, picking we say mama no go sleep, no go sleep. Oh. Many of you have been sending me inbox of your own IsiAgu attire. I say, this is another way when Buhari said 5% and 10% and 5% and 90 whatever percent. But here it's no longer about 5% and the percentages in question. But now it is about whether you have the choice, whether you have the right to wear that which you want to wear. Now I say, okay, let me go and wear my own now. Waiting. Then I've gone and I wore my own. I say, okay, let's now cut. Look at this man. Isn't he on point? Yeah. Look at him. This is the cloth. If you don't know, this is the cloth that we're talking about. The cloth that is causing the trouble, starting from the court. That this has become an identity for Ndibo, and that he cannot wear this to court. So if you, up to now, you didn't understand what has been said, this is what it is. Again, I believe that if the freedom of, if freedom still should be an issue to consider, everyone, whether facing trial or not, should have the right to wear whatever that pleases them. And I find it a little bit unsettling to note that the trial judge would obviously stick an argument on this. I found it a little bit really disturbing, to say the least. But again, that is where the court and the IPOB are now in this rough fight. Okay? They are in the rough fight. I believe by next time, probably they should have been sorted out. For me, because this is a no-brainer. There is no issue here. Nothing that I can see. I see absolutely no issue here. I'm being honest. There is no reason why that should have been actually been a conversation from day one. But now, if you're going to church tomorrow, where are IsiAgu? I know some say it's IsiAgu, but at least for the benefit that many people, when we say IsiAgu, understand what it means, wear your own IsiAgu. If you're going to school on Monday, so it's so better do whatever. Smarter, this country itself in a cruise, this country in a cruise. Now, let me go to the lighter one. There is this problem in Anambra growing up, and I'll conclude with this. You have a native doctor called Akwa Okukotiwalake. I know many of my viewers will say, Mas, why are you condescending so low and wanting to talk about this? But I will reply with the following. An elder cannot be at home while the she goats or the mother goats puts to bed tied with a rope or tied to tatters. Now the question here is, people, whether and however you like it, I have been saying this on this platform. What we have in Nigeria as a whole, Africa probably also, is religious intolerance. The native doctors do not tolerate their Christian counterparts. The Christians do not tolerate the traditional worshippers. What we need is tolerance. If somebody decides that what he wants is to be killing chicken and goat and be eating it and be doing whatever, what we may have to do as a people is to regulate manner of the way this nonsense is being shared on social media is alarming. We have one in Onitsha, called himself Onyeze. He gets women naked, our sisters, our daughters, naked. Yeah, he would ask them to open the mouth of a ram and speak into it. That after 21 days, something will happen. But afterwards, they will turn the ram upside down, and obviously, that ram will die underwater in a bid to make money. And that is a church, right? Yeah, it's a confused one. But Akwokoko, I believe there was this reverend who made video castigating Akwokoko. Akwokoko, in retaliation, made a video, cursed him to the oracle, saying he will die, this, that, yet. I was just laughing because your oracle is not jobless, waiting for who to kill for you because he made a video. Neither is the man who made a video about you. I believe it's also ignorance and overstepping his bounds. For me, it shouldn't have been an issue of, going to poke the lion's tail. If maybe, is it really a lion? I don't know. Maybe just going to go and poke. It's because of our intolerance. There is no difference between when a Boko Haramist goes to a church and puts a bomb, blows up the roof. There is no difference between the act of terrorism committed by the Boko Haramist or an Islamic fundamentalist who have done that. There is no difference between he who does that and you, a Christian, who goes to the shrine of a traditional worshiper, takes it and burns it. It's the same. Faith. They believe they can commune to their God through whatever. Do I believe in it? I will laugh it off because I don't. Would I destroy it? Why would I? What thing concern me? We must have regulations. I believe. I was speaking to one senator about this. I was speaking to one of the senators 2 days ago on this. We must find a way. We would have to regulate this madness before it gets out of hand. It is not right that we will come on Facebook, and you see them killing whatever they kill, sprinkle the blood, making all these things. So, I mean, come on now. These things aren't supposed to be. If you want to do them in your own private corner, it is you, between you and your God. It doesn't concern us. But this must not be used to pollute the air. Now, after Akwaku made the video saying that this man would die within 4 days, after 4 days, the man no gree die. All of them, they look for customer who they want to eat. So do not fall victim. This is not the work. The one will go pray for you, say, if I pray for you, I cast them, you become rich. Not job. You always say you go kill chicken, kill whatever, you become rich. Not job. What pays? Hard job, hard work, consistent, dedication. You get there. Look at the world 100 richest people on earth. Any of them commit any juju, anything, look for a solution to solve. People make money by solving problems. Sorry, look for problems to solve. People make money by solving problems. Interconnectivity. Oh, let's connect old, new, blah, blah, Facebook, bam. I remember many years back when we were before Facebook, there was what we called in Germany then StudiVZ. That is a version of Facebook meant for university, because some of us moved from cities to city. Like myself, I started in Kiel, I moved to Bremen. So it's sometimes to connect with those you didn't, you've left behind. We used student Verzeichnis. I think that's what they call it, but it's called StudiVZ. Exactly like Facebook. Tested then. I think that was when Facebook was still testing it in own university then. So eventually, you see where Facebook is today. Look at Microsoft. Look at Innocent. Look at Coscharis. Those that you've known that have made money. Look at Pioneer Meradem. Look at people you know. You can see their track record. New Tazan, then in Onitsha. These are people involved in transport business. Even if it's Dangote today, yes, he has some privileges. He has to do some undercuts. They give him some leave, but at least you can see he is solving problems, because he cannot build without cement. You can't eat your akawogi or whatever without sugar. He is solving problems. But here we are, we haven't done anything, and our youths are thinking, oh, we want to be rich and ride Mercedes. Do you know how many years many of us have worked on planet Earth to even be able to afford Mercedes? But here you have a child. Sorry, but I say child. Who haven't worked, who haven't even gone into apprenticeship, who hasn't done any form of proper work, wanting to ride G-Class. The other one, come on. No matter how you look at it. At the fun side, when Odumeje now got angry, that's the funny part of it. And Odumeje, I like him so much. Oduhaeje, not me, because I'm not included, Nando Odumeje. Odumeje now, wanting to ask him question, had the following to say. Don't laugh.
Okay.
He said the guy is an idiot, that he eats fried chicken.
That's a video to that one.
But just said, why would you shouldn't take him serious as a native doctor, because he drinks Centenary. For some reason, Centenary is sounding like Centenary. He said he drinks Centenary and drinks Moet, eating fried chicken. Was this because he's a native doctor, he should be eating roasted chicken? Yeah. So, and the guy this evening, this is so funny. For me personally, I don't know about you. The guy this evening made a video. Somebody forwarded it to me, but I think I can't find it now. Somebody forwarded the video to me saying, see this guy, he's calling Odumeje name. He said Odumeje is fake. He said the other one is the other one. And I looked at it, I said, now wow, people, where are we headed to? Where are we indeed headed to? Because the whole thing is really, I must tell you, is indeed funny, It's indeed funny, honestly. If I get, let me see if I can find the other, when Odumeje was actually questioning him and asking him how on earth does he think that anyone would take him serious, regarding what he does, right? And I said to myself, well, however you guys take it, but I take it as a joke, but I believe you guys should also take it as a joke, and you need to stop. Please, this needs to stop, because there is no way we are helping ourselves with this level of madness that is currently ongoing. If you want now, I can even if you ask me to bring Mommy Gio in, we can ask Mommy Gio. Mommy Gio will tell us. Mommy Gio will tell us how. So Gio can actually tell us how she became a virgin again. But again, I think that video sadly doesn't want to play. So I will take that video off. But be that as it may, one thing we have to know as people is that while personally I find it because I know in my mind they are all catching crews. Don't take any of them serious, and I mean it. They are all catching crews. Do not fall for their trap. None of them. Be it the Christian one, be it the traditional one. Forget. None of them can really make you, the type of wealth probably that they promise you that they're going to do. Either way, is he who has ear, let him hear. For me, it's a case of judgment. But now this is where you just said something that really got me cracking.
Native doctor that don't have any power, that don't have even face sick.
It says the native doctor don't even have face.
That don't have even Panadol. Then you are claiming you give pastor power. You are giving pastors power. You are an idiot to say that nonsense from your mouth. I'm the Lion himself that have powers and practical miracle that I show in Facebook, healing all manner of sicknesses and diseases with evidence. The only thing you do is to.
Is it why I laugh? They said they heal all manner of diseases, but when they see the real sick people, they run. They will donate money for you to carry the real sick person and go to church. How about? You people should get serious, honestly. When you see real sick people, you donate money for the sick person to be taken to the church. But when you see people who aren't serious, you begin to make videos challenging yourself. Now, people, there is something serious I want to talk to us about. And that is, I would still do a video on this. I've talked about it briefly, but I would still do a video on this. I will use the opportunity here to register my disgust at something I saw at the Enugu International Airport. I can't be an international airport anymore. When you fly into Nigeria now, or when you fly out of Nigeria, you are asked to come and clear the DSS. I find that act worrying. The reason why I find it worrying is I have been using airports in Nigeria. I'm a global flyer. I'm a frequent flyer. I move across the globe. I have never seen in Nigeria, be it flying from Port Harcourt, Lagos, Abuja. I have never seen where someone is asked to come and clear DSS. I thought it was a joke the first time, but the second time I got prepared. I said I must catch and I must capture this in video. And I did. I did capture them in video when they were telling me to move, and you can see that there, to move and go into the DSS. Watch out for that video, because again, I believe this is very wrong. I used the opportunity and go on those who are in authority to know if everyone must clear DSS flying into Nigeria. I have no issue with that, but it should be applicable to all ports of entry. Anything less than that should, from my humble opinion, be considered a premeditated attempt to subjugate the people using their Caribbean International Airport to undue hardship. If you decide it's going to be a policy for Nigeria, so be it. But if not, please, please, that must stop. On that note, I say thank you very much for joining me this evening. I am still Master, and this is in the Media TV. Join me 6 o'clock Nigerian time tomorrow, 6 p.m. I will be having a one-on-one conversation in our series, the State of the Nation series. I'll be having a conversation tomorrow, and you can also listen to that conversation if you're on Twitter Space. If you can go to at Mazezoke Twitter handle, you can follow me at Mazezoke, MAAZIEZEOKE. I'll be speaking to Professor Kinsley Moralu tomorrow. And after that, after my conversation with Professor Kinsley Moralu, the week after this, that is the Sunday, the 27th, the last Sunday in February, I will have the privilege of speaking to my good friend and brother, Chief Dr. Dele Momodu, the publisher and CEO of Ovation International. The week after, the first week in March, I will be speaking to Professor Femi Olufemilade. Therefore, it is indeed a packed week. I am still struggling to find when, in March, I can guarantee you that I will be having Dr. Chris Mwaweze and Pius Anyim Pius on this platform. We must keep having this conversation. If you do have questions that you wish that I ask these guests, you can join in this meeting and ask the question yourself. But if you wish that I do ask that question myself, kindly inbox me at Mazezoke, or you can send me an email at mazezoke@gmail.com or njenjemedia@gmail.com, whichever way you wish to do that. I will pick up your email and I will endeavor to ask your question. I believe, and I'm a firm believer, in conversations as opposed to war. Let us jaw, because in conversations, we might begin to understand each other's better, rather than every time when some of us say, take action. And I laugh because some of us actually, and most of us do not know that conversation, when you have conversation, deep conversation, that you're actually engaging in an action. Action is not only when you hurt one another. On that note, I will say thank you very much once more for being part of this conversation this evening. And I am still Mazezoke, and this is still Njenje Media TV. And say good night and have a wonderful, restful evening. Bye for now. Come